Welcome back to the channel. If you're returning, it's awesome to have you here again, and if this is your first time, you're right on time. Today I'm walking you through a full mobile app design for a gadget store ordering process, from the home page to product selection, cart, and seamless checkout process. Whether you're learning UI UX or building your own product, there's a ton of value here. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and be part of the journey. So the first thing you should do is to have your content that you're going to use in your design, and also have the images that you're going to use in your design. So in case you're wondering how I got my content, is I went to ChatGPT and I requested ChatGPT to give me 6 items under each of these categories, which is the phone category, the accessories, and the smartwatches and laptops. So you're going to request ChatGPT to give you, and the price is also, and product description. So this is where I got my content. And the images, in case you're wondering how I got my images, is, let me just quickly show you. But I did this so the video is not too long, because already the video is going to be long because it's a full product design. So what you do is you copy the name of the product. That was what I did. Then you go to the browser. Now when you go to the browser, I would want you to search for Whisk. You search for Whisk. So when you search for Whisk, you're now going to come here, click and paste, right? Then you are now going to say, because you're now going to give it a description what you want. You're now going to say standing iPhone 16 Pro Max full image. Now you're going to say full back image because we want the image from the back. So you're now going to say iPhone 16 Pro Max full back image. Then you are now going to click on this and it's going to generate an image for you. So you're going to wait for it to generate an image for you, and we have image here. So what you do is you are now going to download this image. So you're now going to download this image, click on download, and it's going to download. And when you download this image, you're coming back to your Figma. Then when you come back to your Figma, you're now going to go to file, go to place image. Then you're now going to see the image you downloaded, right? If you've downloaded. So what you do is you now bring the images into Figma. Then we are now going to remove the background. We are now going to do remove BG for all these images. So that's how you get your images. So let's start designing. That's what we're here for today. So what you now do next is we're going to start designing the components. So something like this here, there's the home page, right? So we're now going to duplicate this because we're going to design exactly something like this. That's what we're going to design. Exact. So for us to be able to get this exact design, if you look closely, you will see that we need to get some icons. We need to get some icons we're going to use before we start designing the component. So for us to get our icons, we would now right click, go to plugins, then go to iconify. Then we'll start getting our icons. So the first icon here is bike. So I'll search for bike, and this is the bike here we're using. I'll bring it out. Then the next icon is this drop down, which is arrow. I'll just say arrow. Then I will bring this icon out. Then the next icon is cart. Then I'll search for cart. Then I'll scroll down and get my cart. So this is the cart I used, and we'll bring it out. Then the next icon here, if you see here, we have eye icon and plus. So we have eye. So this is the eye icon. We're now going to bring it out. Then eye close. So for the eye, we can still scroll down to see the eye close, right? So something like this. We are now going to take this out. We are now going to take this particular eye out, which is the eye close, and take it out. Then plus, or let's just say plus. Then there is a plus. We're now going to take this out. Then the next thing is delete. We're now going to take delete out. Then the next thing is home here. Home, we'll now say home. We'll now take home out. Then the next thing, category. Then category, will scroll down. Then this is the category. We are now going to bring it out. Then search icon. Then search icon, enter. Then we are now going to bring this search out. Then profile, the last icon, profile. Then we are now going to bring profile out. Now we have gotten our icons. So what next? The next thing now is for us to create something where we can see our icons, where we can arrange our icons. So now I'm going to now copy these icons here. I'm now going to copy these icons and tidy up. So Alt Shift H, so tidy up. So I'm now going to pick my icons and bring them into this frame. I'll bring them into this frame, copy them and bring them into this frame, copy and bring into the frame, copy and bring into the frame. So what next? The next thing now we're going to do is to start designing our components one by one. Start designing our components one by one on our screen. So to design this home page, first of all, we need to get this our phone bar. But first, we need to bring out our screen. So we are now going to click on frame, then iPhone 15 Pro Max. We're now going to bring it out. Then the next thing now we're going to do is to come here and to come to our layout grid and add a grid. So I'm going to add a grid. Then column, I'm going to count, I'm going to change it to 4. Then margin, I'm going to change it to 16. Then gutter 16. So I have my mobile grid. So how do I get my top bar? Right, mobile top bar. So I will come to assets here. I'll click on assets. Then when you click on assets, you are now going to come to this. Then you come to iOS. Then you now say bar. You now search for top bar. So when you search for top bar, that you'll see this. So this is the status top bar. We're now going to bring it out. Yes. So now when you bring it out, what next? You're now going to increase, drag it to fill it this way. Then you come here, you close and go back to file. Then you come here and align it to the top this way, so it is aligned. So you have this already. So the next thing we're going to do is to have this, right? Is to have this. So we're now going to first of all click on our frame. Then we are now going to create a frame here. We're going to create a frame here. Then this frame we created, we're now going to the text. We're now going to click on text. Then we'll click on the text inside this frame. Then we are now going to get this address dbs. So I'm going to come here on the text size. I'm going to reduce it to 16. Then the size, the thickness, I'm going to change it to medium. So I'm going to change it to medium. Then what next? I'm now going to bring in my icon. So let's pick this icon frame here and bring it to this side. So now I'll take out my icon, my delivery icon. Then I'll come here, click on this icon and drag it out and bring it here, inside here, the frame. So I will now bring out this icon too, which is the drop down icon. I'll click on the drop down icon and bring it inside the frame, but it has to face down. So for me to make it face down, I'll come to the right hand side panel, then I'll come to this side where it says rotate 90 degree. I'll now say rotate 90 degree. So now I have this here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to click on this and click on this and highlight this. So I'll highlight the three of them. I'll give them auto layout, Shift A to give them auto layout. I'm now going to come to this my spacing here, then I'll work on my spacing. I'll now say 16, spacing of 16. So the next thing now is to bring my cart inside. Now when I bring my cart inside, you see this auto layout frame. I'll click on it. Then when I click on it, I'm now going to come to alignment, right? And I'll tell it to align inside the frame to the center. Then I'll use my left arrow key and push this way and push it to the side. Then this one too, I'll click on it. I will come to my alignment, vertical. I will say align to the center. Then I will leave it where it is. So it's perfect where it is right now. So you see our website gradually is building, is coming up. So the next thing we're going to do is to have this here, these cards here. So we're going to create this card. So for us to create this card, what we're going to do is we're going to come here to this frame. We'll click on the frame, pick our frame. Then we are now going to come to this side here and drag and create the card. We're now going to create the card. Now we'll create this card this way. Then we are now going to come to the panel side on the right hand panel on the right hand side. Then we'll add fill. Then after adding fill, the next thing now is to get the colors, right? But before we get the colors, I'm going to use this particular color. You can use any color of your choice, right? So for me to, before I add the color, I'm going to come over here where it says gradient. Then I'll click on the gradients. Then I have these two gradients here. So I'll just drag this here. I'll click left click and drag this here. Then I would have to adjust my gradients. So I'll just drag it to this side. Then I would have to drag this here, right? Then drag this here, because if you look here closely, you would see that this gradient, this color is different from this. There's the lighter version of the color. So I'm going to do this. So once I do this, the next thing I'm going to do is to come over here to this gradient here. So this color here is this, right? So I'll just click on this color palette. Then I'll come to this color picker. Then I'll pick this color here. I'll pick this color. So you see it has entered that color for me. Then once I've done that, the next thing I'll do is to come here and pick this color. Pick this color. Once I pick this color, I'll come to color picker. Then I will come and pick this color. Color picker, pick this color. So now I have this. So I've done my gradients. The next thing I'm going to do is to give it a corner radius. So I'll come to my corner radius. Then I'll give it 12. I'll give it 12. So now I have given it a corner radius of 12. So the next thing I'm going to do is to center it. So now it's in the center. So what next? We're now going to have this text here and this image here. So like I told you, I already have my images. So what I'll do is I'll come over to this text here. Just for consistency, I'll just copy it out to this place here. So once I copy it out, I'll come here to the right hand side panel, come to the fill of the text. Then I'll click on the fill of the text. Then I'll change it to white. Then I'll change it to white. Now I've changed it to white. Then what's the text here? It says latest deal, latest deals, tests. So now the latest deals, I'll increase the size here. I'll come to typography, come to the size of the text, and I'll increase the size to 24. Now I will now duplicate this. Then come over here. What does it say? It says up to 30% off. So I will now say up to, starting from capital letter, up to 30% off, so up to 30% off. So I will now come here to this. Before the 30%, I would say enter. So it comes down here. I'll come to this up to, then I'll back button, close it. So I'll just back, then I'll say enter. So now you can see alignment here. That's why it's like this. I'll come to alignment here, just come to my align left, then I'll take it to align left. So once I take it to align left, you can see the text is closer. This one here, my text is closer, but before then I'm going to increase the size of the text. Come here, then I will increase it to 32. Then the size of the text is closer, so what I'll do is the line height here, I'll increase the line height. So I'm going to give the size of the text is 32, so 32 with half of 32, which is 16. So 32 plus 16, that's 48. So I'll just come here and I'll say 48. Let's say 40. 48 is too much. 40, so 40 is okay. So now I have this. So what I'll do is I'll click on this and highlight this, then I'll give it auto layout. Then I'll come over here to the panel alignment, then I'll say align to the center vertical. So now the next thing now is to bring in this image. I already have my images. I'll just come here and pick the image I'm going to use, which is this particular image here. I'll just click on it, pick it and drag it. So I'll just pick it and drag it into my frame. So I'll pick it, drag it into my frame here. So I'll expand it, make it bigger, K, and scale it up, center it, mouse to scale, then I'll center. Now I need it to face the left hand side. I'll just right click, then I will come here and I'll say flip horizontal. Then I have this. Perfect. So now there's something I want to add to this. So before I add to this, I'm going to go out of scale. I'll cancel, then I will trim this frame. I'll trim this frame this way. Then I would bring out a shape. I'll come to the tool, shape tool, then I'll pick, then I'll draw the ellipse here. So I'll draw the ellipse this way. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to come here to the fill and make it black, make it dark. So now that I've made it dark, the next thing now I'm going to do after making it black, I would now close this, come to effects, add effects, then change this brush shadow to layer blur. Then I will just make the layer blur, let's say, then I will right click on this, then I'll say send back. I'll just bring it down a little. So now you can see the realistic shadow we have here. Can you see? So now it's done. We are done with this screen this way, right? I can just click here, this one, and bring it to this side a little. So we have something like this. So now we have already done this. Then the next is these categories here. So for us to do our categories, we are going to come over here, pick this our text here, we'll alt and pick it out, then I'll click it, then I'll say categories. Then for categories, what's the text size? I'll put the text size of my categories 24, the text size 24. Then now we need to create these cards. Then to create these cards, what we're going to do is we already have 4 columns here. Draw here, drawn this alphabet. We'll duplicate this, right, to 12 and change the name to phones. That's in Pro X. Come here, paste here, right? Of course, I'll resize this, then bring it inside this frame this way, bringing it inside this frame, right, code here, this frame, shift auto layout, spacing 12, this, and here it's showing like this, right. So after writing category, what we'll do next is to come here to this our frame. We'll click on our frame, then we'll come here, pick one of the columns and draw an exact frame using that column. So now once we've done this, we are now going to come over to our right hand side panel and add a fill. After adding a fill, we'll now come scroll up, right, come to corner radius and add corner radius of 12. Remember, we're using 12 as our corner radius, so for the sake of consistency. So the next thing now we're now going to do is to come over here to change the color to this color, right. So I'm going to use this exact color, but if you want to see the color code, is if I click on this, if you come here, you see the color code is EB E8E8. So I'm now going to copy this color code, copy, I'll come back to my frame, click on my frame, come to this color, highlight it and paste to replace by using Ctrl V, right. Then I'll say enter. So now automatically the color has changed. The next thing I'm going to do is to copy this category text here, bring it down here, then I will come to my right hand side panel and I will resize it to 12. I'll resize it to 12. Now once I resize it to 12, I'll double click and highlight, then I will now change the name to phones. So I'm now going to bring phone here for my phone category. Oh, it's missing here. I'll come back here and bring it back, come back to my image. This is it here, so I'll just click on it, open, then I'll paste it here, then I'm now going to resize it. I'll scale it down to resize this way. So I'll zoom in, I'll zoom in, I'll zoom in, so now I'll zoom in. So I'll just scale it up, scale, I'll just resize this. I'll just go out of scale, come to X, then I will hold on Control and resize this. We'll resize this, hold on Control and resize this, and then I'll say center. So now I have my category here. So I have my category. My phones is missing. I'll just come. So the next thing is I'm going to bring my image. I'll drag it here, scroll down and resize this image. Then I'll go out of scale, hold on Control to resize the image, then I'll bring it inside this frame here this way. Then I'm now going to align it to the center. I would still scale it down and bring it inside the frame this way, and I'll just align it to the center. Now align it to the center, so I have this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come over here and click on this frame, and now highlight this text, then I'll say Shift A, put it in an auto layout. Then what I'll now do next is I'll Alt and duplicate. So after alting and duplicating is you shift and hold this while you highlight the two of them, you give both of them to auto layout, then you click on this particular one, then you now say Ctrl D and duplicate. So now you have 4 duplicates. So now what we're going to do next is to change the names, right? So we'll just say this one accessories, then this one smartwatches, then this one laptops. So now I'm now going to bring the images and replace them. So I'll zoom out, come to these images. So accessories, this for accessories, this for smartwatches, and this for laptops. So I will just highlight the 3 of them. and I'll drag them here. So I'll drag them here into this frame here. So I'll just zoom in and resize them. So I'll resize them. These accessories, I'll just hold on K, then I'll resize it this way. I'll just say Ctrl X and cut. Then I'll click on this phone here inside this frame, then I'll right click, then I'll say paste to replace this way. Then for smartwatches, I'll just scale it down to the same thing. I'll say Ctrl X, then I'll click on this smartwatch phone picture here, then I'll paste to replace. Then for laptop, I'll scale it down to, then I'll say Ctrl X, then I'll click on this image here, then I'll right click, then I'll say paste to replace. So we're going to have this at the end of the day. So now you see we have this at the end of the day. So what's the next thing we're going to do is this, right? These categories. Now these categories, for us to achieve these categories, is we already have something like this, right? So we're going to this frame here, we're going to duplicate this frame. For the sake of consistency, we need to keep it consistent, so we're going to use the same frame. So what I will do next is this category here, I'll copy, then I'll click on this auto layout, like the overall auto layout here, then I'll right click, then I'll paste to replace. Now it says here top picks, so I'm now going to change the name, say top picks. Then now what next? I'll duplicate this, then I will resize it to 14, then I'll say see all, then I will Ctrl X, now come here and click on this icon here, then I'll right click, then I'll paste to replace. Oh sorry, Ctrl Z is the whole frame I'm supposed to click on. The whole frame, then I'll right click, then I'll paste to replace. So I'll align it to the center, just move it here, just align it this way. Then this also, I'll make sure it's at the center, and I'll just move it here. So now what next? The next thing now we have to do is to create these cards. So we're going to create them individually. So now if I click on this, and let me open this so that we'll see how the cards are arranged. So this is it. So for us to achieve this, we need to create one of these cards, right? So let me clip this back. So I'm going to pick this part, one of these cards here. I would pick one of these cards so that would recreate something like this. So now for us to create a card like this, or to get something like this, is we're going to first of all bring out a frame. And we're going to come here and measure with the columns here. We're going to have something like this. So you see now, once just like this, right? Once we've done this, the next thing now we're going to do is to come over and give it a corner radius of 12. Remember, we're using a corner radius of 12. Then also we are now going to give it a color, right? Did you guys remember the color, the gray color we picked before? So now if we cannot remember the gray color, all we need to do is to click while clicking on this, right? Now after adding a fill, I'll click on the color picker, and I'll pick on this color. Then I have this. So I'm going to have this just like this. So now what next? We need our eye, right? So we'll come here, pick our eye, bring it inside the frame here, inside the card frame here. So now that we've brought the eye inside the card frame, what's next? Our product. So the next product is our iPhone. So the next product is our iPhone. So iPhone, So this is the iPhone. I already have the image. You see why it's important for you to have your images set. If not, you just be going one back and forth to get all these things, and it will take you longer time or more time for you to be able to achieve this. So I have my iPhone here. What's the next thing? The next thing now I have to do is to get this plus sign. Then this shadow, it's if we want this to have a shadow like this, all we need to do is to do the same thing we did. We'll just come to ellipse here, then drag the shadow here, just curve it up a little, then come here, make this shadow black, then come to effects, then drop down, turn it to layer blur, then make this shadow 8. So you have 8, something like this. So you're now going to have a shadow like this. So if I double click on this shadow, I'm just going to increase the size of this shadow here. So I have this. So the next thing now is to have this plus sign. So I want you to see something for this plus sign this way. See, can you see? Control Z. Can you see? If I drag the plus sign, can you see? This is what we're going to achieve. Let me take it back. So for us to be able to achieve that is, I would first of all bring out my frame, right? I'll bring out my frame. Now this is my frame. I'm going to size it. I'm going to size it down to, I'll come to dimension here. I'll give it the size of 38 by 38. So now 38 by 38, I've given it the size of 38 by 38. So now I'll come to corner radius here, then I'll reduce this, I'll give it a corner radius of. So once I've done that, the next thing now you do is to come to fill here and add fill. So now you see it's now a perfect circle. So now it's now a perfect circle. So these are our button. So now what next? The next thing is to have these items inside. So I have my icons here. So the first icon I'm going to have here, and please make sure the dimension of your icon, right? Make sure it's 24 by 24. All of your icons, make sure the dimension is 24 by 24. So I'll drag my icon here. What I'll do is I'll come to alignment and center it. So now you're dragging your icon into this circle shape. Then the next thing now I'm going to do is to hold down Alt and I will expand this way. Now I'm now going to put the other stuffs inside. So now what next? The next thing I'm going to do is to have my number, meaning when you pick on this item, what number are you going to see? So now click on my text, then I'll come here, click, and I'll say 1. Now I'll just come over here to alignment and I'll center it vertical, right? Then the next thing now I'm going to do is to get my delete icon. I'll come over here, pick my delete icon and drag it inside the frame here, and drag it. So now what I'm now going to do is this and this, just to make sure it's all equal, right? Then I'll give it auto layout. Can you see? I've given it auto layout. So now that I've given it auto layout, the next thing I'm going to do is to click on this overall, right? I can now drag it this way just to make sure everything is aligned. So what I'll now do is I'll cover it Alt. While holding on Alt, I'll now close it down. Now as I'm closing it, I'll make sure it's 38 here. So I'll make sure it's 38 by 38. I'll make sure it's 38 by 38. Bring this here, bring it to the center, move it to the center. So I have this perfect circle call to action button, which is add to cart. So now what next? The next thing now I have here is my mobile, the name of the phone, and also the price. So for the name of the phone here, see it here, right? I'll just come mobile, I'll copy this, and I'll copy this. First I'll pick this, I'll alt, I'll duplicate this, then I'll double click, then I'll right click and say paste and match style. Or what's the use of paste and match style is I want it to paste, but remember in this side the text is white, so I need it to be black, right? That's why I'm pasting to match style. So now, and also to match the size, so now reduce the size of this text. This, let's say 24, let's say 24, just to make the size bigger. Just let it look the same way with that. Then I'll come here and then I'll say enter. Then I'll come to alignment, I'll say align center. So now I have this. So now what next? Price. I'll duplicate this, I'll bring it down here, right? Then I'll come here and I'll copy this price here. Then I'll go back, then I'll double click, so highlight all, then I'll right click, then I'll say paste to match. Then the next thing now I'm going to do is come over here and reduce the size for the price, right? I'll now reduce the size for the price to 16. I would make it bold. Then this I will make it a little bit faint. The color for the price I'll make it a little bit faint, to be this too gray, so 2121. So that's what I'm going to use. I'll copy this 21, come over here, click on this, then the black I'll change them to 2121 also, so it's gray. So now I have this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to click on this and this, then I'll say auto layout, put them in an auto layout. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to come to the spacing. Then the spacing I'm going to give them spacing of, then this frame here, and this I'm going to give it auto layout. And auto layout I'm going to now give it a spacing of 12. Yes, 12 is okay. So now what next? The next thing I'm now going to do is to add padding to this, right? So this whole frame, I'll now come to padding here, the side padding, left and right padding now add. Then the up and down padding, I would come to individual padding. Then the up I'll give it 5, then the down I'll give it 10. The next thing now I have to do is to create all the cards, bring it up. So now I'm going to fast forward this just to save time.